Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar organized by Adhesives, Sealants and Bonding Expo, a unique exhibition and conference dedicated to this sector in the Middle East and Africa region. Today's session with Bostik focuses on combining efficiency and sustainability in packaging adhesives. I'm joined today by senior experts from Bostik who will share their expertise, reveal latest innovations and case studies on packaging and sustainable adhesive solutions. We encourage interactions, and we'll be taking questions from the audience as well. So you can type out any relevant question or comment in the questions section that appears beside the chat box. I will now hand it over to Alan Hubert, Business Development Manager, MEA, Advanced Packaging Business Unit at Bostik, who will take it from here. Alan?
Yes, so good afternoon and welcome everybody. So firstly, I would like to thank you for being here today with us in order to know more about the Advanced Packaging Business Unit and in what extent that Bostik can support you in your business and in your activities. So I'm pleased to introduce you Cyril Billoir, who is the Market Manager for PU Lamination in Europe, Middle East and Africa. Jean-François Lecam, the Market Manager for Seal and Reseal Technologies in EMEA region. And I'm also glad and grateful to have with us Eric Parois, the Global Market Director for Tapes and Label. And last but not least, Pascal Perroni, who is the Global Market Director for Consumer Goods and Paper. I'm Alan Hubert, the Business Development Manager for the Advanced Packaging Business Unit in Middle East and Africa region. So in other words, I'm handling the development of this business unit in our region. So if you have any question or you need any information after the webinar, please contact me and feel free. So just a brief overview of Bostik as a company. So Bostik is one of the top 3 global adhesive suppliers, and we're working on 3 different markets, which are industrial, consumer, and construction. So let's talk a bit more about these 3 markets. So under the industrial, we have 3 business units. The first one is hygiene, where we are developing adhesive devoted to baby diapers application. The second one is durable goods, where we are supplying our customer with adhesive devoted to general transportation and engineering application. And the last one is the advanced packaging, and we will talk more about this business unit today. And we are working on 3 different market segments, which are the flexible packaging, tapes and label, and finally the consumer goods and paper. So the second market is consumer, and it includes all of the mass market products that you can find as a customer into your supermarket. The last one is the construction market, and we are supplying our professional customers with silicones and adhesive in order to support them in their building activities. So we have an expertise on our technologies that allow our smart adhesive to be very flexible, responsive, and as well as efficient for many applications. So currently we are located in 45 countries, and we own 4 research and development centers located in US, in Europe, and in Asia as well. So I have to admit that everyone who is working for Bostik today, he is firmly convinced that the innovation is a key success factor in an ever-changing industrial environment. So as you can see on your screen, we have an expertise in a wide range of adhesive technologies, and we are continuously developing high-performance adhesive for specific needs, but also multi-purpose adhesive devoted to various applications. So we are working on acrylic, hot melt, moisture cure PSA, polyamide, water-based technologies, solvent-based technologies. But more than technologies, Bostik has also an expertise in helping customers improving their production processes with time and cost-saving solutions. As you may know, we are a part of Arkema. Arkema is a global chemical company specialized in specialty chemicals and performance materials. Arkema has the purpose to be in 2024 the leader of specialty materials divided on 3 segments: adhesive, with Bostik for sure, advanced materials, and coatings. Today, as Bostik, we represent 24% of Arkema's portfolio. So, as mentioned before, we are part of Arkema family, and Bostik contribute to, but also benefits from Arkema's know-how in specialty chemicals and great support concerning material science. Another implicit benefit I would like to highlight today is that we take advantage from the complete and integrated supply chain of Arkema to formulate our adhesive. I mean that Arkema is supplying the raw material that we are using to formulate our products. Nowadays, as you know, the world is looking for more sustainable solutions. And we have the responsibility to develop products that care of their environment and that can help our customers achieving their goals and reduce their environmental impact. That is the reason we put the focus to preserve our resources, eco-designing our solutions, and finally, make it easy for our customers to recycle their products. For instance, we developed and designed a sustainable KIZEN range in order to support our customers in their project, on this kind of project. So we understand that each demand is unique in the market, and it requires a specific approach angle to answer it. At Bostik, we have both product and service in order to address today's most pressing concerns for you, our customers. For instance, the consumer safety and convenience, the brand integrity, the sustainability, and finally, the scaling and innovation. As Bostik, we are uniquely suited to meet modern challenges. Firstly, we complement conventional technologies with specialized adhesives unique to the market. Secondly, we specialize in leveraging collaboration for innovation, with a proven track record of successful joint development with OEM. And finally, our product offer more than a simple bond, with extensive value-added functionalities, as we will see it with Pascal Peroni afterwards. Like our sister company Arkema, we have the commitment in innovation, and we are constantly making innovative products that go along with the future of the advanced packaging market. Some innovative technologies that we are pioneer for the past couple of years include our anti-fog heat seal coating for leading application, the pressure-sensitive adhesive devoted to the resealable application, and our KIZEN product line for, among other, the case sealing application. So I will pass on it to Pascal Peroni, who will introduce you the consumer goods and paper market.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. And thank you also to Media Fusion for this opportunity to present you our consumer goods and paper activities. So, Bostik is active in this consumer goods and paper market with cutting-edge technology we name KIZEN. Who are our customers? Our customers are mainly brand owners, companies who are active in food, personal care, home care, pharmaceuticals, and e-commerce businesses. And if we talk about food, we serve mainly production units making beverages, cereals, pasta, bakery, oils, syrups, meat, poultries, seafood, ice creams, chocolates, fruits, and vegetables. Why do we know how to melt adhesive? Hot melt adhesive is the best and safe technology to bond. First of all, it's a dry product at room temperature, which is solvent-free, moisture-free, and it can be used without any human contact. It's very interesting in terms of storage and transportation, but also the product is very safe, avoiding any bacteria contamination or viruses contamination. The product becomes sticky when it's melted. It's melted at 160 degrees in average. And in a few seconds, immediately, you can close the board, close the box with a few grams of products, 100% sanitized, because the melting process will burn any kind of viruses or bacteria. And the product with these small dots of hot melt will become almost invisible for the consumer, just letting a tamper-evident sealing on cardboard and paper, which demonstrated that the box has not been opened before. What is our Kaizen approach at Bostik? Kaizen means continuous improvement in Japanese. That's really what we had in mind when we developed this new technology. Before the 2000 year, in last century, hot melt EVAs were the most popular products. Afterwards has been developed the hot melt metallocene with improved efficiency. And in 2017, we have developed and launched our Kaizen technology, which is our best performance polyolefin technology today. We combine that with our best tools and processes and best technical expertise, especially in terms of adhesion and cost savings. Today, Kaizen provides to our customers very smart savings. Let's review a very simplified process of hot melt application. First of all, you have a first part in blue, which is the storage and supply of the hot melt. It is in solid form, it's in pellets, and usually the best option is to use a container which will become an auto feeder for the melting unit. The operator will use some super sacks or small bags to fill this auto feeder, and afterwards the pellets will be automatically pumped into the melting unit, which melt the product at 160, 180 degrees in average. It can be lower in some specific cases, to provide to the application gun the necessary quantity of liquid hot melt, which will allow to close very fast the line, the box on the lines. And in a few seconds, the product will be cooled until the room temperature, which is very safe and very efficient. What are the key benefits of our Kaizen technology? First of all, at the bottom left, you can see that we provide to our customers some ergonomic bags which have been specifically designed to be easy to handle and easy to fill in the specific auto-filling containers. Of course, for bigger quantities, we can provide super sacks or big bags with a specific forklift that we will use to fill in this container. But to be efficient, we need also to have a specific design of the pellets, which is not caking. And with Kaizen, we have these specific properties we name free-flowing, which allow to have all the time a regular supply of the melting unit without any blockings. The third point, which is really important, is to provide thermal stability. If you melt at 160 degrees the hot melt, the risk of carbonization of the hot melt is very high. And usually what we've seen in the past with the hot melt EVA especially, the product was going yellow, brown, and sometimes very dark, just due to the carbonization. With Kaizen, up to 7 days after melting, during continuous melting, you will see the product staying at a very light color or without coloration. The other point, which is absolutely wonderful with this technology, is the clean application. As you can see on the dot, on the top right left, we can make very small points or small applications which are very clean and without any edge layers. The product can be bonded very fast with less than 1 second, and at the end with a very strong bonding. What is also very, very important is the comparison with the previous generations. Here we have made some tests with 3 other metallocene hot melt developed in the past and the current Kaizen force. Clearly, we are able to save more than 60% of adhesive just with higher bonding performance. Our experience is already very important with this technology, and especially in the Kaizen has been used in the beverage industry. So, for example, here it's a company who has more than 20 lines. We switch each line between 1 hour or 5 hours, because the KIZEN technology is also very easy to switch with very good compatibility with the previous generations. Here, in this specific case, the customer was using metallocene technologies, and we have been able, for all the lines, in average to sell 10% of adhesive, which is very significant, and which allow in the future for all customers to have continuous improvement in their lines. Another very interesting return of experiments was with a distributor. They have been able to reduce by almost 20% the quantity of adhesive and the cost, and reduce highly the complexity. They were using more than 14 products, some EVAs, some metallocenes, and just with one product, the KIZEN Force, they switch all the products with this one. The benefits of the KIZEN Force is it's a very versatile bonding behavior on diverse cardboard types, the wide window of temperature resistance, below 0 degrees up to 50, 60 degrees in some specific cases. And you've seen that it has been, they were able to reduce up to 35% the adhesive quantity. So in a nutshell, our KIZEN technology is very powerful. We provide 3 key benefits: the comfort, the security, and the efficiency, with higher performance bonds, ultra precise drop, reduced consumptions up to 35% you've seen, optimized maintenance with really long life possibilities, enhanced safety, and very easy switch.
Thank you very much, Pascal. So we already have three questions from the audience.
Yes.
The first one is, what is the compatibility of KIZEN with current hot melt based on EVA or metallocene?
KIZEN has been developed to be the most compatible adhesive with the previous generation. So with hot melt EVA and hot melt metallocene, in more than 80% of cases we have experimented, we have been able to switch the product in less than 1 hour. So really, we reduce the quantity of the adhesive in the melting unit up to the bottom. We add the KIZEN product and we flush. And in less than 1 hour, you can change from the previous generation EVA or metallocene to KIZEN. That's really a very key benefit, and it's linked to its specific chemistry, which has a high compatibility with both of the very well-known technologies in the past.
Great, thanks so much. So the second one is, in which country KIZEN is available right now?
KIZEN has been developed to be a worldwide product. So the product can be used in all countries. It's produced in the 4 main plants that we have in the world. So even if you are in whatever country in Africa, Middle East, or in US or in China, you can benefit from the same properties. And if you compare with the best sellers you can find on the market, the difference, I see a question from Tony Almeria, clearly the difference is we are based on polyolefin as well, but we have defined the design of the product to be much more compatible with the previous generation. That's really what makes it different. But in terms of use, it's as easy to use as the previous generations. That's really the key point.
Great. Thank you very much. And the last one on the question tabs was, what are the benefits of KIZEN in terms of sustainability?
This KIZEN technology is polyolefin based, which is technology we can use in any kind of cardboard, clearly. It has been tested to be recyclable ready, so we can use it in the pulp and paper industry very easily. So we can recycle the pulp and paper in very good, at a very good level. We are tested this product through the INGEDE 12 protocol. It is a removability test, and KIZEN had the best rate on the market. So that's also in terms of sustainability, guarantee that the product will not harm the process of the repulpability of the fiber.
Great. Thank you very much. Please, attendant, ask your question into the question tab. It will be easier for me to gather every question that you have. And we have another question. So what are the chances of charring black carbon formation near filter with the new line of products?
Indeed, there is almost no charring in the condition of use. As you've seen, we have been able to use it and during 7 days without any charring. Of course, you should be careful not to use it at 250 degrees or to have just very small quantities, less than 1 kilogram burning during many days, of course, but it's really an evolution and an improvement in comparison with the previous generation. So it's a very stable product.
Great. Thank you very much. So we have again another question. So can you repeat the protocol of testing for removability during recycling?
It is the INGEDE 12 protocol. Okay, and Bostik with these KIZEN products is able to, in this product can be screened out of the pulp and paper process, and in that process we measure the ability of the products to avoid any what we name stickies in the pulp and paper process, and make sure that we will recycle 100% of the paper fiber, clearly. So that has been tested with the KIZEN range.
Great. Some people are really curious and they are asking, what is the polymer used in the formulation of KIZEN?
Yes, it's a polyolefin polymer, really designed to be the most efficient in comparison with the previous generation, and especially the key point, in addition to all the very good thermal stability, the free-flowing properties, and the clean application, the key point, we have very, very good experience in reducing the amount of adhesive in comparison with metallocene. That's really the key characteristic of KIZEN. We can save a minimum of 10% up to 30%.
Great. Thank you very much, Pascal. So I think we can move forward into the presentation. Eric, may you introduce your market segment, please? Tapes and labels.
Yes. So good afternoon, everybody. I will briefly explain to you what Arkema Group and Bostik, being part of it, do in this pressure-sensitive adhesive market used for labels and tapes. Now, first of all, I think something important that you have to bear in mind is what if you would work with us, what would you benefit from? Arkema as a group is quite a unique player in this field, as it is integrated in the acrylic chemistry, so from the beginning of the chain to formulated adhesives. It's a global company with a manufacturing platform and R&D centers all over the world. And our strategic objective is to propose to the market multi-technology of pressure-sensitive adhesive, some traditional ones, so that are well known in the label or tape, water-based adhesives, hot melt adhesives, but also some new or innovative, even disruptive technologies that have been well, let's say under development for several years, but now are reaching a status of providing the level of performance needed, in particular in the context of finding alternatives to solvent adhesives. So we are developing pressure-sensitive adhesive in the UV curable area, but also some other technologies that we call moisture curable adhesives. So global, integrated, multi-technology offering is this what you would benefit from if you embark with us on developing your adhesive solutions. So Arkema as a group compiles the different subsidiaries, Bostik being one of them, but I will mention the other one because they're also important in this pressure sensitive adhesive area. So we've got Coatex. Coatex is a specialist of rheological additives that are used in pressure sensitive adhesive formulations. Coating resins is the major part of the Arkema Group involved in emulsion water-based acrylic pressure sensitive adhesive. We are through the business unit called Sartomer. Arkema Group is highly involved in the, let's call it the UV framework, producing different kind of components. It's one of the world leader in let's call it that way, UV chemistry. And Bostik finally, so the let's say which is mainly promoting hot melt adhesive and also some other adhesive technologies that I mentioned earlier. With all those pressure sensitive adhesive technologies, we serve different markets. So our ambition is to cover the widest performance spectrum possible with a portfolio of technologies to address the challenges of various industrial sectors. And on this slide, you've got a reference of the many sectors that we serve with our pressure sensitive adhesives, whether it is in logistics, in the food and beverage industry, or in more industrial applications, in building, in transportation, or in assembly. So we've got a wide range of products to address different performance requirements with multiple technologies. Basically, what we do with our customers is that we really intend to be regarded as a strategic advisor to help you address the various challenges you face, whether they are technical, whether they are linked to market and product positioning. We can work with you, explain to you what is available in the market, what those various adhesive technologies can bring, how they can position one to another, how to optimize your coating processes, and what extra performances you can get through a, let's say, some adjustment program that we can design with you. We can have also an impact on your investment strategy because some of the technologies that we advocate can bring huge productivity advantages in terms of capacity, as they can run much faster than, for instance, solvent acrylic chemistry. One of our ambition is to drive more substitution of solvent-borne adhesives with those technologies that I mentioned, whether water-based, UV, or hot melt, or moisture cure adhesives. We also work with printers that print self-adhesive labels in particular, and that work on, in a way, integrating themselves in producing their own self-adhesive laminates. So to achieve all that, we have different assets at our disposal that we put at your disposal. That's the main important thing. So the Bostik and Arkema is a part of an ecosystem that we have built over the years that involves many different kind of partners, whether they are coating machine manufacturers, whether they are material manufacturer for silicone coating, so liner paper or film liner producers, and on the other end, all the face stock materials that are used for self-adhesive labels, whether they are filmic or paper. It can be traditional paper or thermal papers. So we have connections with all those people. We have some development program with them. We work also with silicone suppliers, obviously, because silicone plays a key role in the performance of self-adhesive labels, and it is important for us to always confirm the compatibility between those silicone release formulations and our adhesives. We also work with, for some specific market, we work for some, with some OEM, equipment manufacturer, in particular in the printing field, which can be, for instance, thermal printers that are widely used in VIP label applications, whether liner or linerless. And we work with them to guarantee that our adhesive solutions can provide the optimized level of performance on those printing equipments. At the same time, so Bostik and Arkema as an adhesive supplier, as a pressure-sensitive adhesive supplier, is, as the industry at large, facing these sustainability challenges that are changing the rule, and those changing the rules very quickly. So as a consequence, Bostik is involved in the development of optimized adhesive solutions to cope with the recycling challenges of the various packaging materials that are used in the industry, whether it is glass, whether it is paper and cardboards, or different plastic materials like HDPE or PET. Whenever there's a self-adhesive label on any of those containers, the industry at large is organizing itself to guarantee that those labels do not harm the existing recycling processes. So as an adhesive supplier, Bostik works on this issue to make sure that its solutions would not be detrimental to any kind of recycling processes, and even improve the performance of the recycling processes, which is also a demand from the market, as the recycling requirements are being more and more important. So to support all this, we have a strong regional presence, whether in manufacturing or R&D centers on all continents. So you could benefit from this, from this strong local presence to deal with local people to support you. The other thing that we are putting at the disposal of our customers now, for some years already, is to cope with the change in the label market, with the strong emergence of linerless label, as this market is strongly growing, around maybe 15% per year, and it is putting a lot of pressure on the supply chain to make sure that those linerless labels can work well on the printing equipments. So to guarantee this, through that ecosystem that I mentioned, and also Bostik with its own capabilities, has arranged that we are able to provide you linerless label prototypes for you to guarantee that the product you would make by yourself using our adhesive would work on either an Epson or a Big Solon or a Zebra thermal printing equipment. So, and it would also help you speed up your go-to-market strategy and presence by being through a very quick qualification of the product you would make, and we would help you do that. That's a global company, different technologies, designed to help you to ape some of key challenge, substitution of solvent, face sustainability challenges, a strong ecosystem that can bring global solutions, almost turnkey solutions for anyone either involved already in self-adhesive label or tape manufacturing, but anyone wishing to start this, as we can connect you all with some very renowned companies, world leaders in their field, that work with us to optimize the manufacturing of self-adhesive materials to cover the widest performance spectrum possible.
Well, thank you very much, Eric. So we got one question from one participant, and he's wondering what are the applications in logistics?
Sorry, can you repeat, Alan?
Yes, what are the applications in logistics? I think he's wondering in which application, especially in logistics, we can find our hot melt pressure sensitive adhesives.
You see, in the logistics area, it's you've got packing list label, let's call it that way. So a system that are applied on corrugated cartons. You've got all e-commerce labeling, so all thermal labels that apply on corrugated cartons. Those are the main ones. The challenge is in this field is the fact that a part of this market is moving quickly to line-knowledge solutions, and then comes the question of working with the right adhesive to guarantee that those line-knowledge labels will print well and work well on the printers. That's in the logistics e-commerce area. I would say that one of the major changes happening now is the emergence of line-knowledge labels. So any actor in this field is certainly concerned about how to cope with that change. What are the implications on the adhesive as such? How can performance can be guaranteed? And in that field, Bostik, through the ecosystem as I described, can bring a lot of experience and expertise to help you guarantee the performance of your products.
Thanks. So another question, how do you make sure that the hot melt PSA are suitable for post-recycling?
This is linked to a major campaign of product development that we initiated several years ago. And you see, in this field, the industry, so I would speak more about the self-adhesive label industry, maybe, because this is the one that has worked more intensively on recycling questions, more than the tape industry, by the way. So the industry has tried to structure itself. So the recycling stream and recycling committees have been established all over the world. And the ambition of those recycling committees, which involve recyclers, brand owners, adhesive suppliers, label manufacturer, they work on to establish clear standards of performance that provide the right level of, let's say, recycling rate performance on the recycling machine industrially, so that at the end, that process is stable and robust to guarantee that indeed PET bottle can be recycled, or an HDPE bottle can be recycled as well. So Bostik as such is a member to many organizations like that and participates in optimizing adhesive solutions. So to explain some of the cases and the challenge that we face, in PET or HDPE, the challenge was to make sure that the labels would debond from the bottle or the container material made in PET or HDPE without leaving any trace of adhesive, so that the container as such can be then recycled in the proper way in a virtuous circle. So what we call circular economy. So to make a bottle to a bottle, or a PET container to a PET container. So in that sense, this is what Bostik has, and we've got several products for that from different technologies that brings that level of performance. Of course, there are still areas that are not yet optimized. So the industry is struggling with those challenges to make sure that the recycling process will be compatible with pressure-sensitive labels. For example, in HDPE, that it is still a challenge because there are washing processes at low temperature is very difficult to control. But it's very difficult for a pressure-sensitive label to debond when the temperature is not very high.
Okay, great. Thank you, Eric. Just a quick last question. So do you have any compostable PSA label adhesives?
Compostable PSA adhesive, we have some solutions that have been prototyped several years ago that we are revitalizing now. We are working on hot melt PSA as well, and other kind of technologies to cope with a challenge which is being even more complicated than what it was a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, the question of industrial composting was a question. Today, it's not only that, but on top of that, it's home compostability, which is becoming a challenge. So as an adhesive supplier, the difficulty is to cope with compostability challenges at large, including home compostability. So we have some options available now on very specific technologies that can be tested, that we are promoting to some key actors to try to convince them to try these kind of options. And we are developing hot melt formulations or water-based formulations for this kind of it's what we would call compostable pressure sensitive adhesive.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Eric. If you have any other question, please drop me an email and I will be pleased to answer it. Okay, so we will pass it on to Cyril Billoir for the flexible packaging market.
Yes, thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. So indeed, we are going to talk about flexible packaging market segment right now. And I have to say, Bostik delivers basically various technologies for the flexible packaging segment. We have, let's say, specialty products, which are the sealant technologies, and my colleague Jean-François will cover that part. So I'm going to focus on the lamination adhesives for the flexible packaging. Okay. So flexible packaging, as you know, provides a number of features from aesthetics to preservation and shelf life, going through robustness and safety, food safety, you name it. So many, many features. So it is no doubt that indeed it has replaced quite advantageously the rigid packaging in the last few years, quite extensively, I would say. And to provide all this, of course, there is a need to somehow combine the different functions by combining different webs or films. And the enabler for that, for these smart combinations, are of course the adhesive you might use. Now, the complexity and the versatility of the flexible packaging structures and applications forces the adhesive supplier to really develop smart adhesives in order to comply with all that. And then, of course, this complexity raises a few questions on how to best select your adhesive. So I'm going to present you a very pragmatic slide here in order for you to be able to best select the adhesives you might want to be supplied from Bostik. So we've prepared the product grid, as you can see on the screen. And what you can see is on the left vertical axis, these are all the substrates you might use. And on the top horizontal axis, you have all the applications you might cover and the consequence requirements, for instance, in terms of thermal resistance or anything else. And so if you cross these two axes, you might end up in a box where you see basically what Bostik adhesive you might use. So I'm not going to comment all the adhesives on this screen because it will take quite some time. So I have made a kind of a selection. So here we are talking about solvent-free polyurethane adhesives. And let's say that at your plant, you want to increase the productivity of your laminator. Well, then you might want to choose 2KLF 520 with H107, because this adhesives basically provides an extremely long pot life on the machine. And that could prevent you from doing a cleaning per day between shifts. So that is additional running jobs on the machine, and therefore an improved downtime that translates into million square meters at the end of the year. So if you're interested into that, we have somehow calculators that are capable of assessing what are the gain for your plant setup. Now, you might want also to combine more challenging films like double barrier films, where usually CO2 bubbles might appear, which is a problem then for the aesthetics, and increase your waste content. Well, then we have a specially designed adhesive MP985. It's a modular system, so you have different correctants depending on the application you target and the structure used. But it provides basically very high-speed lamination for these double barrier films. And it responds to the new primary aromatic amine legislation coming into force that I will comment briefly later on. Now, you might want to even target very specific applications for which you need the utmost food safety, and then maybe you need 2KLF 760, which is a fully aliphatic system. So there's no problem of primary aromatic amine anymore for whatever the structure and the thermal treatment you might have on the application. And then finally, to finish on the solvent-free polyurethane adhesives, if you combine paper in order to have paper-based structures, which are now coming more and more on the market with regard to sustainability matters, well, there is always a need to have an extremely good heat resistance, because the heat seal processes of these structures are inducing very high temperature. And here 1KLF 196 is really a top product because it provides this performance level together with a significant cutting weight reduction. So the cost in use of the adhesive is really important, and it might go up to minus 25% cutting weight. Now, of course, you have the solvent-free technologies, and we have also the solvent-based technologies. So not going into too much details here neither, because we probably do not have the full time. What you can see already is that the number of adhesives is more important. And the reason being, with solvent-based polyurethane adhesives, you can target more highly demanding applications with higher requirements in terms of mechanical deformation or thermal treatment whatsoever. So, for instance, if you pick up coffee capsules or heavy pet food bags, you will end up with probably a solvent-based polyurethane adhesive. So once again, I've made a kind of a selection to present you today. There is, for instance, LG 5970, which is an extremely versatile product, well spread all over Europe from us, because it provides a significant cost reduction on the machine, with cutting weight going down from 15 to 20% savings. You might want to have inline lamination, and therefore the need for an extremely good green tack right after your lamination to go into the next step of the lamination. And then that would be EP2926 that we launched basically last year. If I have to focus really on the high performance market, applications of the flexible packaging, we have just launched two newly developed products, which are UHP 200 It's a modular system going from aromatic to aliphatic and even room temperature pure aliphatic system, so that you don't need specific temperature control room to cure the adhesive. And then you can do basically all kinds of applications and structures. This is the top performer of the adhesives. You have also HCP 160, and I'm sorry for these barbarian names. And this one is really to give you the utmost chemical resistance if you are targeting some stick, flex pap, or other containing goods like weight wipes or shampoo or whatever. And this has been, again, just rightly developed. There are some other specific products. Again, I was mentioning the pet food bags where you need very high toughness structures, or you can go into pharma blisters where you need flexibility during the deformation. And then we have specific products. So there are all kinds of applications. If you need more information, please turn to us. We will, with Alan, we will for sure respond to your needs. Maybe I wanted to finish on food safety, because as you know, there are a lot of changes happening nowadays, and not mentioning every changes on food safety, I think we can concentrate on 4 important products that needs to be removed from the adhesives and the flexible packaging. So GLIMO, no legislation yet, but really a recommendation from FACA to remove it from all the flexible packaging. And we want to tell you, well, guess what? At Bostik, we have all our adhesives are GLIMO free now. So it's a peace of mind when you choose an adhesive from us. New primary aromatic amine regulation coming into force, and it's happening already in March 2021 for the new structures on the market. Again, here we have the portfolio to be capable to respond to your needs. We have also the capability to run this specific HPLC analysis and be compliant, make sure we are compliant with the new regulation. BPA, it was a choice from Bostik. The whole Bostik portfolio is BPA free, so there's no point in discussing that anymore with our product. And finally, cyclic esters, which are becoming a hot topic more and more. And we have to say here, we are capable, of course, of providing you the polyurethane and polyester adhesives that will suit your application to make sure there is no risk of cyclic ester migrations. Again, if you have questions, please convey them through Alan, and we will treat your specific regulation questions if they are. And last but not least, as Eric mentioned also, sustainability and recyclability is an extreme challenge nowadays, and especially in flexible packaging. You need to build the streamline, you need to build the collection, and you need to think about what is the next generation lamination adhesive to make sure you can recycle it, at least in a first step, mono material based structures. So here, I just want to tell you, we have a dedicated program at Bostik that we launched beginning of 2020. We have people dedicated to understand basically the whole chain of the recycling stream, so the cycle analysis, the full cycle analysis of the product. And we have the R&D that are transforming the needs into concrete products. And what I can share with you already today is that we have launched in December a solvent-free PU-based product that has been certified fully compatible with PE flexible recycling by Reseal, which involve plastic recyclers and other participants that were judging the structure with these adhesives into a thorough process of modelization of recycling with, let's say, doing pellets, so granulation, and then going into blown film extrusion, and then making sure that the process of the blown film was not alterated compared to virgin products. And of course, with no significant gels, no hazing, no yellowing, nothing, so that you could do with this recyclate much more than only recycling into garbage bin structures, but really transparent films for industrial applications.
Thank you very much, Cyril, for this presentation. We won't have enough time for the question, but make sure that I save every question that you have, and I will get back to you by email after the webinar. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So thank you, Alain. Thank you, everyone.
Please, Jean-François, it's your turn for the seal and reseal markets on Colseal as well.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Jean-François Lecam, and I've been working for Bostik for over 30 years, always in flexible packaging for food industry. And today I have the opportunity, thanks to Alain, to present a free specialty range of products which allow you to bring more added value to your films and hopefully your packaging. The very first one is a range of heat seal system which can be applied whether by extrusion or by coating on various substrates such as plastic film, polyester, for example, aluminum foils or paper. In addition to the heat seal characteristic, more features, of course, can be brought, including anti-fog, which is a property suitable for the very demanding market of fresh meat, fresh produce, fruits, and when the packaging is made of a mono-epet tray, for example. We can also have peelable or lock seal opening, peelable to get a small peel, typically with an opening force between 4 and 5 Newton by 15 millimeter to have an easy opening. Lock seal is more dedicated when you need a strong seal, for example, for fresh meat, where you have typically an opening force up to 8 Newton per 15 millimeter, for example. And we have also developed some great dual ovenable system for packing containing a ready meal to be cooked in microwaves. All these heat sealable adhesives are based on the vital technology developed by Bostik, which are linear high molecular weight copolyester. So on this slide, I described the typical application where vital grades can be used. We already spoke about ovenable, heat seal, and anti-fog, but vital grade can be used also as a raw materials or as a binders in X, for example, to enhance heat resistance and to provide superior cohesion. Our vital resin can be used also in the formulation of products, but can be used in the interior coatings of can, where the epoxy resin is banned due to the presence of BPA. Another very interesting specialties is Reseal technology that Bostik developed about 20 years ago. In fact, Bostik was a pioneer to introduce this concept and, by the way, being the worldwide market leader. So this Reseal technology is made through the blow co-extrusion. The product is presented in free flowing pellets, and it's blow co-extrusion between several layers. Could be 3 layers, could be 5 layers, 7 layers, up to 9 layers. But basically, the market is between 3 and 7 layers, including a barrier EVOH. So our what makes, in fact, the success of our technology, there are several benefits, in fact. Convenience, very easy to use, the fact that no capex is required all along the value chains, minor adjustment of settings on the packaging machines, and extended shelf life. So the Reseal system is used in a premium market segment for reclosable packaging. You have some examples here: a multi-portion package, pre-sliced meat, smoked meat like turkey, for example, pre-sliced cheese, sausages also, and the new applications appearing in UK and in US for fresh produce, vegetables and fruits, which can be also very interesting by this. Sustainability has become a primary focus also for the packaging industry, not only for the packaging industry, and by also for the reclosable packaging. At each level of the value chain, Bostik has obtained the approval that our Reseal product are compatible with the PE polyethylene films recycling stream in Europe, and the assessment that our system, our reclosable system, comply with the recyclability guideline for thermoform trade. So we are completely in line with the market trend, and now it's not a question of competing with the heat seal or peelable film, but you can add this reclosable feature in your packaging and to be respectful with the sustainability. A third one, specialty that I would like to introduce today is the cold seal. So, at the contrary of heat seal adhesive, cold seal makes a seal only by applying pressure without the need of heat. So you prevent, in fact, some fumes to go into chocolate and to deteriorate the smell and the taste of the chocolates. Cold seal was designed at the very beginning for a chocolate bar, but now you have many applications, like in energy bar, for example. You also see some specialty snacks, frozen ice cream, bakery, eye barrier, and you have a lot of new applications coming from this application. So Bostik, for this range of cold seal system, is a market leader in the USA, and our products are specified by many brands. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jean-François. So we have just one question, which is, did you study the impact of your reclosable adhesive on recyclability?
Yes, indeed. We conducted many trials with some institutes. And in fact, if you consider that the tray can be made of polyolefin or amorphous polyester, PVC is no way. But we have the certificate that our system, our reclosable system, comply with the PE recycling stream that you can find in Europe. We have the certification, and in addition of that, we work also with a recycler to be sure that also we are not negatively impacting the recyclability of EPET when it is used as tray. So today we have both, so we can cover all kinds of application within tray, within polyolefin, could be PP, PE, or it could be EPET. So we are, I would say, in line with the market trend.
Great, thank you very much. So we exceed a bit the limit of time, but if you have any more question, do not hesitate to contact me. You have my email address on top bottom, the top right screen. So do not hesitate to call me or drop me an email. Thank you very much for your attendance today, and we keep in touch.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, everyone, for attending.